Hi guys, for cash outs, what you're working with is basically what did you sell to the customer, what did you charge the customer versus what did they pay us, and the difference in that being obviously your tips. And what we're working with is what did you sell to the guest and charge the guest versus what did you get in electronic payments to figure out whether you owe us cash or we owe you cash. There were some cash sheets that were printed yesterday that seemed to be missing a line where you had to calculate your GST. So if you get one of those, just know that you do need to add your GST. It says right clearly here that the net total that you're starting with, that you're calculating all your stuff off of, like your tip out and your GST, has no tax. And of course you charged tax, so you do need to give it to the restaurant in order to submit that to the government. So when you're looking at your cash sheet that prints out, you can see here that it is going to give you all the product that you sold at a total. And then it's going to subtract off any discounts that you made off of that total because you didn't charge the customer for them, so you don't need to give us money for them either. And it gives you the new net total there, and that's no tax, and it also doesn't include those discounts. You can see the difference there between $348.99 minus these discounts comes to $316.50. So you're transferring that total, net total, no tax, over to this number, net total, no tax. It's $316.50, and then you're using $316.50 to calculate 5%, or you can go 316.5 times 0.05. Those are your two options for that math, and your GST is then $15.83. Same for the tip out. You're going $316.50 times 0.0875, or get 8.75% off of that $316.50 to make $27.69. So you're adding those numbers together to figure out your total amount owing. The net sales without the discounts, the GST, and your tip out. So you owe $360.02. Then you need to figure out what you got in electronic payments to figure out what you owe. So if you look at these cash sheets, they do say here your total Visa tendered here is $127.58. So that includes the tip that they left, $127.58 there. Here it's for MasterCard's $43.30. Put that there as well. And then the only other payment that this received was ChowNow of $109.15. And because ChowNow is a non-cash payment, it has to be put on there in order to figure out what you owe in cash. So your total owing is $360.02, and your total payments is $280.03. So you didn't make enough in these sorts of payments to walk away with all the cash you have. You have to submit some of it back. So the amount that you have to submit back is $80. Just write how you broke that down in here so that we can verify and say, well, I see, 320s here, but they think they put in 4. Then we'll double count a bunch of times because we know that you think that you put that in there, and that's where sometimes discrepancies happen between what you think you put in versus what you actually did. And if the number here, your total amount owing, was less than the number of total payments you received, then you'll end up being owed back money, and that's what we're talking about with due-backs, where those will be available to you within about 3 days. We don't want you guys coming any sooner because we might have to go to the bank to withdraw that money. Over the weekend, we won't be paying out any tips. It's going to be done about 3 days later. So say Friday's tips will come out on Monday, etc. That's it. That's cash outs. Yesterday, takeout was short about $30. So, and nobody had done a cash out for that. So just, if anybody has any insight that worked yesterday, please let me know. Those of you who worked yesterday didn't realize that you had to add the GST, so you're either owed back something different than what you thought, or you're short some money and you owe us money. If you're short money and you owe us money, don't worry about it. I'm going to take it out of your last tip pool payout this week, but moving forward, then we'll have to be dealing with due-backs. And notifying you guys. And what we do when there is issues like that is we show your work. So you'll see me, I'll have this sheet that you filled out, and I'll have written on it, here's what your GST needed to be, and therefore you were short this amount, or you're owed less than you thought you were. I think that was it. Yeah, just being careful that if you got one of these that doesn't say GST on it, that you do add. There's plenty of room to add your GST there, so make sure that you do. Thanks, guys.